right, welcome to the David Dotan Show. It is October 22nd, 2020. I appreciate all of you who are joining me live today. Okay, camera one, camera two, screen share. All right, you guys get the point. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to get started with some news. Okay, Tesla tops earnings. Okay, when I take it to the charts here for a sec. All right. I want to say first off, I'm gonna be doing a separate video on this. I'm gonna be going through the earnings, okay? Actually, step by step, going through the balance sheets, cash flow, and income statements, okay? And we're gonna talk about, Tesla blowing out the earnings. But one of the questions I'm getting here, okay, is David, why is Tesla not shooting up? Okay, why is that happening? The reason why that's happening is because it's already been priced into the market, okay? All this stuff has been expected. All the numbers that came out was expected. It's already being priced in. But what you're seeing here is you're seeing a wedge, all right? And when we have a wedge of this nature, let's see if this is working. The pen, it's a bit slow. It's a bit slow, that's for sure. And the mouse now. All right. Okay, so technical difficulties, we will figure it out. Anyways, it is a wedge. As you see, we have higher highs. Okay, price will make its way up to its previous high, which is its next area of significant sell sensitivity, where then buy pressure will have to test sell pressure to the upside. Okay, so if you are looking to enter on long on Tesla, which by the way is the only direction I suggest going is long, okay, there's two options you have, okay? You're looking, here we have a push off our uptrend, right? That's impulse move. That's buy limit orders, that's stop losses, take profits, that's a market reaction area sensitivity. You will want to enter a completion of exhaustion here, okay? Which we do see some sort of gap down. So at the next price action confirmation, so bullish engulfing candle or significant pin bar, you may have an entry to previous high. But for me, I'm looking more for a long-term move. So I'm looking for a clear break of previous high, push, so that's buy pressure breaking sell pressure to the upside, okay, exhaustion, and then what, a continuational move to the upside. And how far can it go? Who knows? Okay, that all depends on execution, that all depends on numbers and all that other stuff. Okay, there must be something when I stream on YouTube, because it works during all the testing, but it's very laggy when I'm streaming. But it is what it is. We'll deal with it. Okay, so in other news, okay, what are we looking at in other news? Quibi. For those of you that don't know, Quibi was a short form service, okay, like a Netflix but short form, only on app. You couldn't watch it either only on the phone or mobile. Excuse me. You couldn't watch it on desktop or on your TV. It was started by Jeffrey Katzenberg, okay, former Disney guy, okay, CEO. He lost $1 billion of his own money on this thing. Now, one of the things that I find interesting when I look at, I found this article here on Quibi, and I find this really funny. Okay, so Quibi founder Jeff Katzenberg is admitting that the short form video service launch has not gone the way they'd hoped, and he knows what to blame for this issue. I attribute everything that has gone wrong to coronavirus, Katzenberg says in an interview with the New York Times, but we own it. I don't know, in my opinion, that's kind of funny, to be honest with you. That's like saying, listen, it's not my fault, but it's my fault. So it's not my fault, but it's my fault. Anyways, so that's him distributing the blame, and then also trying to be a man and take ownership for it. But here's the thing, okay? So Quibi had what, 1.3 million active users. I mean, you're talking about, they spent, I think, $1.7 billion for 1.3 million active users. That's unacceptable considering the fact that they had reach. I mean, look at the celebrities that they were using to make their shows. I think it comes down to just poor strategy, and just a bad idea. Okay, here's the thing: like, people don't want to watch Netflix on their phones unless they have to. They choose to watch it on their iPad or laptop or TV if they have the option. Okay, and the quick short form 10-minute video movies and stuff like that, like it just leaves you hanging. Okay, people want to relax. People don't want to watch a thriller in 10 minutes. People want to sit down, relax on the couch, watch that for 1.5, 2 hours. These aren't things that people want to watch like that. And when people do have a 10-minute break, what are they doing? They're on social media, they're on YouTube. There's tons of short form video formats. Another thing that they did that I don't like is that they got big movie stars, like big stars to play, and they're not used to short form videos. Okay, and same with the directors. They're used to spreading out a storyline for about an hour and a half. Okay, so my opinion is this: the actual idea didn't work. Okay, I understand that they were trying to say, okay, things are now mobile, short form videos. People don't have time, short form videos. But the reality is it wasn't a good idea. Okay, and the execution was poorly done, and instead of hiring people to direct, like YouTube influencers like Casey Neistat or other people like that are used to short form, they hired long form directors and actors, and it just didn't work out. So apparently the shows weren't doing that well, or the movies left people hanging. Okay, anyways, for me it's one of those things where it seems like Katzenberg was God syndrome, thought that anything he did would work. Okay, he brought in also a lot of investors. That was, I think he took in close to $1 billion of money that's not his. You know what I mean? So I'm going to start incorporating gifts. This is how Jeff's night went last night. And this is his day this morning. Yeah, and this is what he's going to be doing tomorrow. So here's my thing, okay, with that is this guy took a shot he shouldn't have took, okay? And it's one of the things that you got to know when to play, okay? He's retired, he's a multi-billionaire, okay? Not really, actually. He's put a substantial amount of his fortune on this thing, okay? He's definitely don't get me wrong, he's set for life, but he's maybe got to sell a couple of his jets now. And maybe a couple homes. But what I'm trying to say is this: you got your money, you're retired, life is good. Why take such a big risk at his age, okay, whereby you're also bringing in a lot of other people's money? Because what's that going to do for the rest of his life? First off, that taints his reputation. Secondly, that makes him look like a fool in some ways, in my opinion. I think if I was approached with this, I wouldn't have agreed. I don't think that, like, for example, I tend to invest in things that I want to use, and when I have 10 minutes of time, I'm not watching a movie. Okay? So, what I'm trying to say is this: his reputation's tainted. Okay, he took a risk that he shouldn't have had, that hurts him financially. But most importantly, he lost people's money that's not his. Okay, and that's going to haunt him forever. It's not just a small amount of money, it's probably a large amount of money. And yes, he probably got it from a lot of his rich friends, which will be fine, but probably there's a lot that overextended. His relationships are hurt. This is just one of those situations where I think Jeff, I don't know him, obviously. I don't know much about him, but I think he's probably going to sit back, reflect in a couple of years and be like, why did I have to do that? You know what I mean? So anyways, moving on from Quibi. All right, NASA. All right, NASA is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys know what they did. NASA, they landed on an asteroid, okay? And they landed on an asteroid, and what they did was they collected dust samples, okay? And this asteroid was full of metallic materials. So what that plan or hope was, is that it will help them understand how the universe began, how things happened and began, okay? Right now we know that the Earth's crust is metal. We've known that for a few years now, but we can't drill down there. We can't go deep enough in the ocean and drill down there either. It's actually cheaper to go to an asteroid that's traveling at 300,000 kilometers a second, landing on that thing, pulling up some dust, some micrograins of dust, and then coming back home, which is quite funny, isn't that? So I think one of the things is one of the things that you may not know about me. A lot of you have been with me for 5 years now as a part of Team FXG. One of the things that you may not know is that I love space. It's like one of the things I'm just fascinated about. Okay, like look at just one tonight. If you have clear skies, look at the sky. Any of the stars. The chances are the star you see is already dead by the time that light has arrived. Okay, and also if that star is not dead, it's at least 500, 600 times larger than our sun. And the Earth is just literally a microscopic dot in terms of the size of our own sun. The size and scale of our universe, right? So our planets, all our different planets, that's just one galaxy. There's 2 trillion galaxies, right? Our galaxy is just one grain of sand of a beach full of sand, and then within that galaxy, we're just a small speck of dust within that galaxy. We're nothing. So for me, it just blows my mind. Sometimes I get lost in the fascination of actually how small we are and how nothing we are, and I find that sometimes quite humbling. Okay, and by the way, we have the observable galaxy right now is about if we were in the middle of a sphere, okay, and the diameter of that sphere from the middle is our observable galaxy. From the middle to one end of where we can view is 450 billion light years away. Think about that. When you turn on your lights, like when you see a fighter jet and they're cutting through the air, and maybe you hear that rippling sound, that's when they go faster than the speed of sound, right? So the only thing faster than the speed of sound, or there's many things if you break it down, but the fastest thing we know of is the speed of light. Okay, so when you click the switch on, and to turn on the light, that the time it takes for that light to turn on is almost nothing. Imagine traveling at that speed for 450 billion years. That's how long, at the speed of light, it would take you to get from where we are to one end of the observable universe. Listen, and the fact that we can see that far, the fact that we can map it out that far, the fact that we have space, it's pretty amazing. We have rockets going up and landing back, credit to Elon Musk. These are the type of people that change the world. Okay, so in terms of we have Intel and Coca-Cola coming out with earnings, Q3 earnings. Okay, so that's going to be another video today with Tesla. Okay, and Pfizer, just something interesting. All right, Pfizer, from what I hear, is getting really confident. Okay, Pfizer, there we go. They're getting really confident. What do I mean by confident? So they're starting to produce a coronavirus vaccine, COVID vaccine, before even approval. That's how confident they are in approval. Okay, now when we take a look at the charts, okay, we're taking it here at Pfizer. By the way, some of you may not know, Pfizer started by actually looking for a way for something to do with heart disease, okay, and what they found was actually it gave you a hard one, okay, and then they transitioned and started to sell Viagra, okay. So Pfizer actually did not intend to create Viagra. That was just that was one of the, I guess, the pills that they made for some heart conditions, right? Because what it does is it thins the blood, right? That's why circulation can get down there and all that stuff, right? But anyways, sometimes mistakes are rewarding. So Pfizer here, we are on Pfizer, okay? And we're taking a closer look from data from 1998, okay? Yeah, we see a strong spike here, but let's take a closer look from in this area, more relevant, okay? And what we want to do here is we want to start off by adding area sensitivity. Okay, so I usually do my monthly zones as blue. And for those of you that don't know, area sensitivity is what? Horizontal buy and sell pressure. That's correct. Okay, now we could also do one here. All right, doesn't really matter. We're not going to go ahead and do that. We're going to watch where price is trading. Now, if you, God, I wish this thing was working right now. By the way, if anybody knows how to solve this problem, it would be much appreciated. Essentially, what this allows me to do, or should allow me to do, is to draw on the screen. And I am able to do that. However, as soon as I start live streaming, it does not allow me to do that, or it lags significantly. So if anyone knows how to fix this issue, it would be much appreciated. Anyways, we are on Pfizer, okay? Now, here's our monthly upper zone. Area of significant sell pressure. We know that price is not going to be able to break that zone to the upside easily, okay? Here's our monthly lower zone. Area of significant buy pressure. We know that price is not going to be able to break that to the downside easily, okay? Price is trading within this range, and that's what I'm trying to say. Now, when we take a closer look at to what price is doing, okay, we are seeing sensitivity off our monthly lower zone, and we have been for quite some time. I mean, if we take a look at this, since about 2014, let me just change the color. Since 2014, price has failed to break its monthly lower zone to the downside. So we do know that we have a tremendous amount of buy protection here, okay? So if we're talking about top-notch buy value on Pfizer, we would talk about buying at the lower range or lower end of our monthly zone, right? However, that may not be the opportunity that we get. Okay, so when we take it to the weekly time frame, it's important again. So what is our zone in between the monthly, right? It is the weekly. Okay, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to look for our weekly mid-range zone. Okay, so I'm looking for horizontal areas, sell and buy sensitivity. What I do here is I'm looking across the board. Okay, usually it's about 50% of the way there. All right, I'm going to slightly adjust here. Boom, I'm going to bring it down. Okay, so why do I do that? Here's sell pressure. Here's buy pressure. Here's sell pressure. Okay, sell pressure across the board. All right, this is an area of sensitivity, and we know that. What else can you find here on Pfizer? Okay, well, lower lows. We have a downtrend. Okay, so what does this mean? Very simple for us who understand the simplicity of the markets. We're only on the monthly time frame, and we already know what's going on. Okay. What do we know? We know that buy pressure is seeing support from its monthly lower zone. We know that buy pressure is trying to break its weekly mid-range zone. That's due to the fundamental direction, right? We expect Pfizer to come out with and get acceptance and approval for their vaccine. They're showing a tremendous amount of confidence by producing it already. Maybe that's just a strategic play to get the acceptance. Who knows? But what we do know is that buy pressure is testing our weekly mid-range zone to the upside. So what does that mean, team? For those of you who've been with me for the past 5 years, you already know this, and I know it. That means that we are waiting for buy pressure to beat sell pressure at our weekly mid-range zone and also sell pressure from our higher time frame downtrend. All right, and what does that require? Push to the upside. What's after a push to the upside? Exhaustion to the downside, where then we're looking for a continuational move to previous high on Pfizer. Okay, so we will have some sort of analysis on this. I am going to start getting into the long-term stocks in terms of analysis. I'm getting a lot of people asking me for that as well. And now that you all are interested in my long-term buys, then I'll begin to do it. Okay, so Pfizer, just thought that would be interesting, maybe a potential buy there. Okay, if they get acceptance, you can almost be meaning approval for vaccine, you can almost be sure that it's going to test and make its way to its previous high. Okay, and then we'll have our final target there, and then we'll let it battle out and maybe make new highs if the vaccine continues to do well after approval, assuming it gets approval. Okay, let's check out Intel. All right, let's do some analysis on Intel here as they have their earnings report today. Just a quick one. Again, I will be doing a report at least on Tesla, likely a 30-40 minute video where we go through all the balance sheet income statements, okay, cash flow statements. All right, so Intel, what are we doing here on the monthly time frame, team? You already know it. That's right. We're looking for area of sensitivity. So the first thing we want to do is we want to look for horizontal area of sensitivity. Remember, I respect horizontal area sensitivity much more than I do diagonal. So uptrends or downtrends. And the reason why is because trend lines will fail you. Zones won't. Especially higher time frame zones. Remember, the higher the time frame, the zone, remember, the more respect, right? So our monthly zones have more respect than our weekly and our daily and so forth. Okay, so what we've done here is identify just our major clear monthly zones on Intel. What we do see here is that while Intel's been on the way up for quite some time here since the collapse here in 2008, okay, 2007, 2008, and it's been on an uptrend. So let's just identify here. Clearly, it's following higher highs, okay? Now, the question here with Intel is it going to make its way to give a test to previous high? Well, that just depends on the news, right? How are things doing, the market situation, right? But what we are seeing is that momentum is flattening out. Why is that? We're seeing price really failing to make contact with previous high. And we know that when price gets close to a zone like that, there's some like magnetic type thing where price wants to get there, offload its buy, sell orders, stop losses, take profits, and then it will make an impulse move. And what we're seeing is a failure of contact of previous high, okay? And that's likely due to, bad numbers. Virus, of course, was the latest drop, okay? Price is just having a hard time making contact with previous high. All right, so Intel, there's not much to say here. There's two scenarios, okay? Let's take it to the weekly. We see lower lows, right? Can we actually identify a weekly mid-range zone on Intel? Might be harder. There's nothing really. We might have a weekly up or weekly lower here, okay? Weekly upper, weekly lower. Why? Horizontal sell pressure, horizontal buy pressure. Boom. So now we have identified area of sensitivity, right? So we have our monthly upper, monthly lower. What's this? Weekly upper, weekly lower, because it's in between our monthly zones, right? So that's what classifies. And what's in between our weekly zones? That's right, our daily, right? So every zone is a lower time frame. So let's make sense of what's going on here. Let's change the color of this downtrend as well so it doesn't confuse. Okay, so price is getting squeezed, right? Here we have lower lows. Here we have higher highs. Here we have sell pressure, meaning buy pressure, at our weekly upper zone, also met with lower lows. So the question becomes is, who's going to prove to us who's stronger? Okay? If Intel manages, if buy pressure manages to break not only this downtrend, but our weekly upper zone to the upside with the push, we would then wait for exhaustion and a continuational push to where previous high. And if Intel fails to do so, then we know it just doesn't have the strength, right? Not enough buy pressure. And we would look for an entry to the downside, assuming it breaks this weekly lower zone. Okay? So Intel, that's something to keep in mind. All right, we're going to get into FX right now. All right. Oh, the Will Ferrell one's still there. Okay. By the way, one of the things I love Will Ferrell. He's my favorite. He's my favorite comedian by far. And I'm already sad for him to retire and stop making shitty movies, which I absolutely love. Okay? By the way, you know who else is an amazing actor that's making shitty movies these days? That's Robert De Niro. He's taking everything. That gets every paycheck. He's doing all these daddy things, daddy daycare or whatever these movies are. It's like Robert De Niro is making these movies. Okay, so fundamental strength. Okay, what are we looking at here? Swiss franc is at a positive 1.2. Yen is at a positive 1.0. Euro at a positive 8.8. Okay, Kiwi's at a negative 0.3. Pound is at a negative 0.8. CAD is at a negative 1.2. And gold is at a negative 1.9. USD and Aussie, like yesterday, leading the way in terms of weakness, with USD being at a negative 3.1 and Aussie being at a negative 3.3. Okay, so in terms of massive changes overnight, not necessarily. Our fundamental direction on many of the pairs are going to be the same. Okay, and I want to take you as well to the platform. Okay, I want to make sure some of you understand this, okay, how the platform is managed. Okay, any new trades that are pinned by me or a verified member are going to be here. So as you can see, yesterday's analysis that we went through during the live session, here are our signals: Euro USD, Euro CAD, Aussie USD, USD CAD, CAD Yen, Pound USD. Now, of course, you can go and you can view the analysis from here, watch the video, and as you can see, by the way, I actually use the pen. I'm able to use the pen here in this video,
be a tremendous amount of self,
which I'm hoping to do for the live sessions, and we'll figure that out eventually. Okay, so you can view the signals here, of course, and then you can go ahead and do it for all the others. But what if you want to see all the past signals? What if you want to see all signals? Well, you just go to signals, and then what are you going to see here? On the left side, you see traffic lights, you see all signals. Okay, you won't have signal management. That's just for me, okay, as the owner of the site. This won't be here, but you'll have this. Click on all signals. Okay, go down, check out all the signals. Of course, back here, you might find situations where there's a bunch of stuff here. This is a bunch of testing when we were doing some testing. So really just the first 3 pages or first 2 pages, I would say. But you can see all the signals. You can view them this way, okay, just like you did on the home page. All right. Also, I strongly suggest getting comfortable with the tools section. Understand, okay, so you don't need anymore to go from different website to different website. The whole point is to have all the data on Gentleman Markets. Okay, so here we see what's going on in terms of announcements. Okay, important announcements are marked in red, and lesser important announcements are in yellow. So what we see here, CPI QQ, okay, for Australia, that's red, so that's important, whereas this yellow is less important. You may even have some green, which means that it really doesn't affect the market. Okay, so that's good to use. All right, additionally here you have market overview. That's just if you want to understand, okay, quickly, who's the largest gainers, who's the weaker, the ones that are weakening. Okay, market data will help you do the same as well. Forex rates lets you know what's moving, what's not, okay? And also the heat map. So for example, New Zealand Euro, if I'm down here at the bottom left, New Zealand Euro right now is the largest gainer at a 0.61%, okay? So for example, if we go here and we take that and we go to Euro Kiwi, okay? Well, what we'll see here on the lower time frame should be is, well, maybe it's a little bit lagging, so I need to figure that out. We need to figure that out. Is that line? I mean, it's coming from TradingView. Oh, it's Kiwi Euro. My bad. Not Euro Kiwi. Okay, that's why. Okay, so it's Kiwi Euro, not Euro Kiwi. So if we wanted to go to Kiwi Euro, okay, that would be right here, and that would show on this. That would show on our screen. That's the negative drop right here. Sorry. Okay, that's that negative move. So we see, okay, so what would I do here if I'm trading? What do I want to do here when I'm starting my day? Okay, first thing you want to do is you want to come to Gentleman Markets. You want to check the home page. You want to see, okay, which market hours are open. Okay, currently we have the New York and the London market hours open. London's closing in 23 minutes. New York's open for another 5 hours. Okay, check out any new signals. All right, then I want to see any new live sessions. Okay, so for example, after today's live session, it will be posted here, right? And then what I want to do is what? First off, chat room, okay? Say hi, say something. I know right now it says channels. This is confusing, but it will be moved to chat room, okay? Use this chat room. We're no longer using Slack, okay? Go check out more signals if you want, not only by me, but from other verified members. Again, view full analysis, all that stuff. And by the way, I hope you guys like that I've been asking verified members to use the same charts, because what happens is many people have different types of charts. So I've said, hey guys, this is the type of platform, this is how I want it to look in terms of when you do your analysis for Gentleman Markets, so things are clear and concise and nobody's getting confused because one guy has got a dark chart, one guy's got EMAs and Fibonacci's, one guy's got this. I like clear. I require no indicators. Okay, I want you all to understand how to trade and trade properly. Okay, then what you can do, of course, is go to tools. That's the next step. As mentioned, I would check out this. Right now is probably for me the most important in terms of what's going on. Okay, we're seeing, okay, Euro Kiwi is the weakest. All right, and what's moving on here? I'm seeing, okay, what's moving? I'm getting clear fundamental, clear direction, right? So I'm saying, okay, Euro Kiwi right now is negative 5.5. It's the weakest of all the pairs in terms of the move to the downside. So if I'm on Euro Kiwi, am I going to look for a move to the upside? No, only to the downside. Use this to your advantage. Okay, additionally, this is also from TradingView. We are going to be adding, again, the strength indicator. That's going to be from, right now we're working on that with all our partner brokers on the back end stuff. Again, thank you, Sam and Sharif, for working on that stuff. But here from TradingView. And what's this? This is the rating, okay? This is interesting. So for example, if we're looking at Euro Kiwi, right? So we know Euro Kiwi is extremely weak. So the rating is a sell. Okay, so if you're not clear, what you'll see here is the rating is a sell. And what that means is what TradingView is doing is they're accumulating entries from brokers that are connected to their accounts, and they're assuming the sell. But also, I believe it has to do with people that are working for them, on the back end. I'm not 100% sure. Okay. And anyways, then what you do? What's next? Go to Idea Hub. Check it out. All right. Again, this is our artificial intelligence. The more you post on the chat room, the more we post on Signals, the more blogs that are posted, it starts to understand what we want and what we like. Okay. So now it's getting, okay, this is a Forex market. We're getting Forex posts, related posts. Take a look, okay? And again, what I love is you can view a quick summary before you open the whole thing. Let's say you don't want to open up and read 30 pages. You can view a quick summary of what this is about before you decide to spend time to read the articles. After you're done with that, take a look at the news section. This is FXG market research team. Who's the FXG market research team? University students, mostly financial club people that want to be involved, get something down on their resume, call this an internship or some crap like that, even though it's the easiest internship in the world. What are they doing? They're grabbing articles that are related to what we would like, and they're posting this. Okay, so again, here is the Pfizer vaccine rolls off, 48-hour stimulus decline. Okay, again, Pfizer election countdown, COVID, and the top is the newest, and as you go down, it gets older. And then the blogs, okay, which is of course not only anything that I post, but anything that a verified member wants to post. Okay, and as far as and here's CMS, which is content management system. Okay, so that's not something you're gonna have. That's for me to play around in the back end. Now, I just also want to make it clear that we're not done yet. This platform will not only aesthetically look different in a few months, it's going to have a lot more value. Okay, so even though we are live now, and we will only for current members, but we will be live to the public on Monday, it's important to understand that this platform will consistently get better. I mean, no company launches at its 100% potential from day one. We launch, we give it the best we got. We add on what we believe will be important and add value. We figure out what's working, what's not. We adjust, and we continue, and we repeat, and we recycle. That's what you do when you grow a business. This platform is fueled by you, which means that what you want is what you will get. So if you say, hey Dave, this is what will work for me, then great, we will make sure and we will add that. Or for us, meaning that if the collective group agrees in terms of a value add. Okay. Additionally, one more thing I forgot to mention, make sure to utilize the rates up top. Okay, these are live rates, by the way. So if you want to click on a pair, go ahead, click on it, and it will take you down to TradingView, which has some more info. Okay, so you'll see technicals in terms of what it is, maybe some other traders. But here's the thing with TradingView. Okay, when you're on here and you're looking at this guy, for example, like Vasily or whatever, these guys are, a lot of times, they're not good traders. Okay, I don't know that guy personally. I don't really review. I'm going to start a show called the Ask Dave Show where I go through these trades, but for most part on TradingView, on the idea section, the trades are actually quite terrible. And don't let these people that have a large following confuse you, because what happens is people just want signals or lots of posts. Doesn't mean that the quality is good. Okay, so I would be very careful about TradingView. What the difference is with Gentleman Markets is that the verified members that are part of the team, they're profitable traders with historical data that I'm able to view, that have gone through my due diligence to make sure that they're actually good. Okay, so just be careful with TradingView. A lot of people believe that to become a TradingView trader, you have to be a professional. You can be anybody. It could be you, right? You could be the one posting on TradingView, right? Even though if you don't know nothing. So just be aware of that. I just want to make that clear. Okay. So that's the benefit of the platform, and now we're going to take it to the charts. All right. Okay, so the first pair we're going to talk about is our Euro USD analysis. Okay, so we're going to go through all the analysis here, okay, that we went through yesterday, any open signals. Then we're going to go through verified members. So any verified member that posted a signal, I'm going to go and I'm going to open that signal and we're going to analyze them together, and I'm going to give you an opinion whether I agree with it or not. Okay, and that might not go so well with some of the verified members. Some of you guys out there have a little bit too much cockiness, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I've had conversations with them. Just because you work for an investment bank doesn't mean you're the best in the world. So when I say I do not agree, or if I do agree, it is not personal. I want to let you know that out there. It is for the benefit of our members and our viewers. Okay, so don't message me being like, hey, why would you disagree with my trade and all this stuff. I don't have time for that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take it through my analysis, then we're going to go through the verified members. Okay, so Euro USD is going to be the first one. Okay, what do? We always start on the monthly time frame, no matter what. Okay, so we know that price. By the way, I'm going to go at a little bit quicker of a pace. So if you want to see the full analysis at slower detail, again, go to the home and go to the signals and watch it. It goes detail, step by step. This will be a little bit more at my pace, okay? So if you don't understand or it's a little bit quick for you, don't get overwhelmed, all right? So on the monthly time frame, here's our monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly mid-range, okay? Push, exhaustion, push, price failed to break previous low. And now, as fundamentals shifted, we see a strong move to the upside. What's important about this move to the upside is we failed to even see an impulse move to the downside from our weekly mid-range zone, telling us that there's a tremendous amount of buy sensitivity, okay? So what do we see here? We see a push to the upside, okay? That's a significant push. Buy pressure beats sell pressure at our weekly mid-range zone. What's after a push to the upside? Exhaustion to the downside. What are we looking for next? A continuational move. Okay, so our higher time frame flow is a continuational push. Our fundamental direction is to the upside. The euro is at a positive 0.8. The USD is at a negative 3.1. We have a strong fighter versus a weak fighter. Okay, and again, I don't believe the USD will gain much more strength in the near future. Okay, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now. You guys hear the dogs barking? Because they just see random things, okay? My dogs, randomly. Okay. And, hey. You guys done yet? You done? Hey. Hey, you done yet? I'm not doing the show right now or anything. Oh, don't worry about me. Done yet? Are you done yet? It's not like I'm doing a show or anything, hey? Okay, guys. Okay. You guys need to stop seeing invisible things. Okay? Enough. It's enough. Okay? It's enough. Okay. 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 They think they're much stronger than they are. All right. Back to the show. Okay. Enough. 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 All right? Look at these idiots. Okay, enough, okay? Enough. All right, back to it. Sorry there. Okay, where were we? Euro USD. Okay, so we have the push, exhaustion, and now we're looking for a continuation move to the upside. Okay? That's enough, guys. All right? And what we're looking for here is that continuation move to what? Our higher time frame downtrend. Hey. Okay. We're going to do be right back so I can put them in the crate. Don't worry, they're crate trained, so they look at that as their home. And then we will continue in a second. Okay? Okay, and we are back. Apologize for that. That's the beautiful thing about having two idiot dogs. Okay, so we're going to move and push, exhaustion, continuational move. Now, what we see here is relative consolidation. We have horizontal sell pressure, horizontal buy pressure. We know our fundamental directions to the upside. We know that we want to have technical direction to the upside. Okay, so what are we going to look for? We're going to look for a push, breaking previous high. That's buy pressure beating sell pressure, right? What's after a push to the upside? Exhaustion to the downside, where then we're looking for a continuational move. All right. So Euro USD in summary, when we take a look at the light here, we see Euro USD is still red in terms of traffic light. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that we still have not seen the push. When does this go yellow? When price makes a push, right? That's when this would turn yellow. Okay, that means that, okay, price has beat previous high. We are now waiting for exhaustion and a continuational move. Okay, so Euro USD, we're still going to have some patience, execute on patience. All right. Monthly time frame, Euro CAD. Okay. Monthly time frame, what do we have? All our monthly zones. Okay. In between our monthly zones, we have horizontal sell pressure, horizontal buy pressure. Here's our weekly upper, here's our weekly lower. Okay? When we take it to the weekly time frame, what are we seeing in terms of flow? Push, exhaustion, now trading above, right? Price is now seeing buy support above its weekly zone instead of below, of course, or instead of sell support at below. Okay? And we're waiting for a potential continuational move. All right, so the euro is at a positive 8. And we also have the Canadian dollar at a negative 1.2. So fundamentals are not extremely far apart. There's not really significant strength to the upside. However, the current is to the upside, okay? Even though it's not a strong current, it still is to the upside. So when we take it to the daily, all right, let's just remove this to clear it up. All right, when we take it to the daily, what do we see here? Okay, we've identified, here's previous high, our monthly zone. So we know our final target's going to be at this upper level, okay? Here's a mid-range area sensitivity. We know that buy pressure for its continuational push needs to break this level before making it to previous high. Okay, so the analysis is very simple, okay? We're waiting for price to break mid-range zone to the upside. And as you see here, price has moved to the downside. There's been an impulse move to the downside. That's expected. That's a beautiful thing of identifying area of sensitivity. Remember, that's battleground. If you haven't watched the movie, go watch the movie Braveheart. Go watch when idiots used to run at each other with swords and knives and met in one place. That's what zones are. You have buyers and sellers meeting, and one is going to win and the other is not. Okay, so what we have here is we've identified that battleground. That's why we only have entry above at completion of exhaustion. Remember, winners only enter at completion of exhaustion. So Euro CAD, all right, push, exhaustion, price action, and entry confirmation. The price the signal will go yellow once price breaks this area to the upside, and if it does not, then it stays red and it becomes an invalid entry. Okay, perfect. Moving on, Aussie USD. Okay, now for those of you who watch a signal on Aussie USD, there's a couple options here, a couple potential in terms of entry to the upside. Okay, so let's talk about that. Making sure everything's good on the end. By the way, I just need to say, for obviously this is the new show. For the algorithm, if you can comment, like, subscribe, that would be seriously much appreciated. Okay, let me know what you think, if I've added you any value. All right, so on the monthly time frame here, here's our we're trading in between these monthly zones. Okay, push, exhaustion, continuational push. We see price as the virus was spreading across Asia. Okay, the Australian dollar was seeing a tremendous amount of weakness, especially against the USD. when the USD was acting as a safe haven, which it's not right now. Okay, so we saw a strong move to the downside, and it had all the reason to continue. However, we had institutional and government support. Remember, governments hold debt for strategic purposes. Too much is not good. Too little is also not good. They have to have they want other countries to have vested interests that their currency does not devalue too much. So as fundamentals shifted, it had fundamental support and technical support from its monthly lower zone to the upside. We failed to see an impulse move from our weekly downside, meaning to the weekly zone to the downside, meaning that there's not much sensitivity. There was a tremendous amount of strength. Okay, so let's talk about just push exhaustion cycles. Here's a push. What's after a push to the upside? That's right, exhaustion, right? Where then we're looking for a continuational move. Okay, so let's just remove this for a sec. So here's what I wanted to talk to you guys about in terms of the entry here, because there's a couple options in terms of entry. Let's take it down to the daily. So one of the things that we didn't do though is mention fundamental direction, right? Australian dollars at a negative 3.3, the USD is at a negative 3.1. We can call it flat. The direction is not clear. There is no fundamental direction. So that's something we need to keep in mind. Immediately off the bat, we know that we have to keep it low risk. Imagine jumping into a river where the current changes, right? And they say, okay, you have to go, you jump in here on point A, and you have to swim to point B, and the current right now is flat. There is no current. But at any point, it can shift direction. What are your odds of getting from point A to point B in a current that shifts direction compared to a current that's steady in one direction is much less, right? So at that point, immediately, as soon as we don't have fundamental direction, we already have to be a lower risk. Meaning if I was to find an entry due to technicals, it would be lower risk regardless, okay? So what do we see here? Again, exhaustion. Here's that impulse move, right? This is stop losses, take profits, buy limit orders, impulse move. This is a retest, and we're seeing a second injection of buy pressure. And what we did was we identified horizontal sensitivity, 4-hour upper, mid, and lower, right? And also here we have a downtrend. This is lower low. So what we said was, at the analysis again, FXG gentleman markets, again, Aussie USD, as you can see right here, you can view that analysis, okay? What we said was, look, buy pressure needs to break some areas of significant sell pressure. Buy pressure needs to break not only its 4H lower zone, it needs to break its downtrend to the upside before then we believe that buyers have control. Now, for me, someone who trades a larger account size, I need to be safe. Okay, I'm not in the game anymore of making, a couple $100 and being okay with losing a couple $100. Okay, I just want to win. I'm about my winning percentage. Not that this happens, but I would rather have one winning trade a year and one entry at 100% win rate than nothing, than a 50% win rate with 100 trades. Okay, just want to say that it's all about the win rate, and I said that yesterday. When you are new to trading, don't come in, whether it's stocks, equities, bonds, futures, doesn't matter. Don't come in, and this is for anything, a new job, expecting the big payout right away. You have to prove yourself. It's about the winning percentage. Cristiano Ronaldo, Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, all these guys, all these big name athletes from the past and the future and the current, they didn't just come in and get the money right away. They had to earn their stripes. They won and helped their teams win championships, and then the money came. Then the sponsorship came. When you come here, you have to focus on your winning percentage. I do not care if you make 1 or 2 trades a month or 300 trades a month. I would rather see you make 2 or 3 trades a month and have an 80%, 75%, 90% win percentage than trade 300 trades a month and have a 40% win percentage. Remember, when you have risk reward, right? So we have a 1 to 2 minimum risk reward for any trade we consider, which means that we're betting $100 to win a minimum of $200, sometimes more. That means even at a 50% win rate, over time you are still in profit. But what happens if your win percentage is 80%, 75%, with also proper risk reward, proper money management, proper analysis? Focus on your win percentage, and then the money will come. Okay? So, Aussie USD. there's two scenarios for entry. Scenario one, you can wait for the push breaking our 4H lower zone and our higher time frame downtrend to the upside. You can. What is after a push to the upside? Exhaustion to the downside. Price will probably see sell pressure, right, at its mid-range zone. So that gives you a potential opportunity to enter at completion of exhaustion. But for me, and remember, I'm just posting what I am personally doing. I know that you all expect me to post what I'm personally looking at. So I'm not looking at an entry at exhaustion down here, although it would be acceptable if you have price action and entry confirmation. I want price to break its mid-range zone as well. I just do. I want price to prove to me it can break its 4H down lower zone and its higher time frame downtrend and its 4H mid-range zone to the upside with the push. Then we will have an exhaustion, and then I'm looking for that continuational push. But again, option A, or this would be option A for me, but option B for you, for those of you who are trading lower account sizes, or for those of you who are okay with that, you may find an entry down here as well. Okay, so Aussie USD, as mentioned, still red. It will be red until it makes that push and break above its lower zone and downtrend to the upside. Then I will convert it to yellow on the traffic light signal. Okay, next up is pound, Aussie pound. Okay. Aussie pound, here's our monthly upper zone, monthly mid, monthly lower zone, okay? Let's take a look at this area. This is where price is trading. All right, so here's our weekly upper, here's our weekly lower, and here's our monthly lower, here's our monthly higher. Okay, obviously you guys understood. That's just battleground. As mentioned, area of battle between buyers and sellers. All right, so what's our fundamental direction here? Australian dollar is a negative 3.3, extremely weak, okay? And then the pound is at a negative 0.8, weak but not as weak. So our fundamental direction is to the downside, right? So before we take it down to the weekly time frame, what's the information we can extract from the monthly? Okay, well, here's what I know. The Australian dollar was stronger than the pound not too long ago. We saw a strong move, fundamentally fueled and also technically fueled from our weekly lower zone. Strong move to the upside. That's a push. What's after a push to the upside? Exhaustion. Now, the problem is that price, Aussie started to see some weakening, okay? And we know that price was significantly strong. Aussie wasn't seeing any weakening until fundamentals changed after it already broke to the upside, because there was no impulse move to the downside once it came in contact with our weekly lower zone. So, when we take it to the weekly time frame, we can see here, right? Here's that push, here's exhaustion, continuational move, right? Then fundamental shifted, moved back to the downside. So we have what is a double top, right? And again, yeah, you might be saying, David, this is traded above previous high. Well, what is a lower time frame stop hunt? It is a higher time frame pin bar. Okay? So we know that sell pressure is doing what? Sell pressure is testing our weekly lower zone, meaning sellers need to beat buyers to the downside. Okay, so this is a push. What's after a push? Exhaustion. Then we would wait for price action and entry confirmation before a continuational move to the downside. Aussie pound. Okay. Wasn't posted. Needs to be posted. Okay, so this will be an analysis that I post. Okay, not sure why. I did the analysis, so obviously clearly I just didn't post it. Okay, so Aussie pound will be posted here, and it will still be on red. It will have a red, okay? It won't go yellow until it breaks to the downside, okay? USD CAD next. All right, let's just remove these to make it clear. All right. USD CAD. We know that this is a cup and handle, okay, and we talked about this yesterday in our signal with USD CAD, okay, the fact that this is a cup and handle formation, but how we do not care about that and why that's useless for us to understand those fancy names. We care about horizontal zones, okay, we care about where area of buyers and sellers are battling. That's what we care about, Okay, so this is consolidation, horizontal sell pressure, horizontal buy pressure at our monthly lower. This is our weekly upper, this is our weekly lower zone. Okay, what do we see here? There was a tremendous amount of strength in the USD when virus was spreading. Safe haven status was getting a ton of liquidity, of course, as it was acting as a safe haven, which it's not now. Important to remember. Okay, so that was a push. Let's take a closer look at this push to the upside. Okay, so what's after push to the upside? Exhaustion to the downside. Sell pressure ended up failing to see a reinjection. Buy pressure failed to reinject. Sell pressure ended up making a move back to the downside. Push. Exhaustion, reinjection of sell pressure, push. Exhaustion, reinjection of sell pressure, push. Okay, what's next? Potential push breaking beneath. Exhaustion. What's after that? Potential continuational move. So what we're doing is we're going with the push exhaustion cycle. Okay, price requires a lot of energy. So for example, this is a move to the downside. Sellers require a lot of energy to beat the buy pressure at area sensitivity. So after a push, that's why we require an exhaustion, okay? And so USD CAD onto the daily time frame. Just staying patient. Okay, fundamentals, by the way, I want to make it clear, USD is at negative 3.1, right? Canadian dollar is at negative 1.2. So USD is weaker than the Canadian dollar. Fundamental direction is to the downside. So we do want to look only to the downside. We're waiting for, again, that push breaking our weekly lower zone, sell pressure beating buy pressure, exhaustion, and then a continuational move. Now, I do want to mention this though, okay? Even though I do believe that we will see extended weakness in the USD, I do also believe that we will see extended weakness in the Canadian dollar. And whether that Canadian dollar will get weaker than the USD or not, I do not know. I am not Nostradamus. But what I do know, okay, is that the Canadian dollar is strongly correlated to the price of crude oil. I know that virus cases are going up. I know lockdowns are spreading around the world. And I do know that the supply of inventory is higher than it should be, even with OPEC plus countries agreeing to a supply cut. Okay, which means what? What does that mean, David? Well, it means that the US dollar is weak, but the Canadian dollar is also weak, and it could get weaker. So if we do see an entry to the downside, assuming that fundamentals have stayed the same, and assuming we are in an entry to the downside, we want to make sure that our entry is lower risk, because no matter what, we know that the fundamentals can shift. Okay, so we want to make sure that that's a key. That's a key part. All right, USD CAD. Moving on to CAD Yen. All right. Also want to mention trading and gaming will be happening today. I figured out how to get the console connected to the OBS. The only thing I can't figure out is this thing. So again, if anybody knows how to fix this thing, it's working well, but as soon as I start streaming, it does not. As you can see, I'm going to pick up my pen here and try. So I'll show how it delays. See how it delays? Like I can't navigate like that, right? So anyways, just trying to make the live sessions better. All right, so CAD Yen monthly time frame. Here's our monthly upper, monthly lower. Here's our weekly upper, weekly lower. Okay, we see lower lows, higher time frame downtrend, testing our monthly lower zone. So essentially this is a higher time frame wedge, right? But we know that price won't be breaking to the downside. This is our monthly lower zone. We know that this is a significant area of sensitivity, okay? But we do know that price is making its way to the upside. We do know that price has strength, right? Because the Canadian dollar right now, the price has weakness. The Canadian dollar right now is at a negative 1.2. The yen is at a positive 1.0. So we know that price is testing the upside, but we know that there's going to be a tremendous amount of sell pressure here. Why is that? Because we know that there's going to be the sellers from not only its weekly lower zone, but also its higher time frame downtrend. So we know that unless the Canadian dollar has a tremendous amount of strength, which we know because what we just spoke about with our USD CAD analysis, how we're expecting long-term Canadian weakness, we expect the Canadian dollar to not be able to break this significant area of sensitivity to the upside. It needs fundamental support to do so, and if it doesn't have that fundamental support, the technicals will not allow it, meaning sellers will not allow buyers to beat them to the upside. Okay, so when we take it back to the daily time frame, okay, again, sell pressure, weekly lower zone, also higher time frame downtrend. Okay, here's what Weekly lower zone, monthly lower zone, daily mid-range. What's in between our weekly and our daily zones? That's right, our 4-hour zone. So here's our 4H and here's our 4-hour lower zone. Okay, so what we've identified here is quite simple. We said, listen, we know that price is going to make its way to the downside. We know that our 4H upper zone is also an area of sensitivity. So let's wait for sellers to break the buy sensitivity at our 4H battleground, 4H upper zone battleground. And then we have confirmation to the downside, right? It's all about proving, right? Again, yesterday I spoke about how you don't give people respect, or at least something I need to work on, but I gave you the reason why. I have a hard time giving people respect until it's deserved, until it's earned, is because, well, they have to prove to me. They have to prove it to me. That's what I do with the charts. The charts have to prove to me, hey, listen, you got to be able to make your way to the downside. So let's think about this, right? This is another good example, right? So here we have a move to the downside that looks like a potential break, and price is now moving back to the upside. That would be a stop hunt again, right? So again, price needs to prove to us. So let it prove it. Earn our respect. Push to the downside, that proves. Exhaustion with price action entry confirmation, that proves. And then, well, we have a move to the downside on CAD yen. Okay, so again, this trade is still red as price is now trading above 4H area sensitivity. Pound USD next. Okay, pound USD next. All right, monthly time frame. Here are our monthly zones. What are our monthly zones? Area of significant buy and sell sensitivity. Let's focus on what's going on here more recently as of 2014. Okay, we know that price is trading between these two monthly zones, so let's call this level of consolidation. We know that price won't be able to break previous high here easily, and we know that price isn't going to be able to break its monthly lower zone at all. Okay, so what's in between its monthly zones? That's right, it's weekly upper and it's weekly lower. Okay, so as we take it to the weekly time frame, let's talk about flow. Just grab a quick sip of water. Okay, so we have horizontal buy pressure at our monthly lower zone. We know that that's buy sensitivity, buy protection. What's our fundamental direction? Pound is at a negative 0.8 and the USD is at a negative 3.1. So the pound is stronger than the USD, meaning our fundamental directions to the upside. So here we have a push, sell pressure coming in at our weekly upper zone as expected, exhaustion, continuational move. So let me ask you this. Where is buy pressure? Where is its next battle with sellers? That's right. It's weekly upper zone. So what does that mean if buy pressure is able to break its weekly upper zone with the push? All right. And what does that mean when price comes back for exhaustion and potentially sees price action and entry confirmation to the upside, meaning a re-injection of buy pressure? That means we have high probability to what? To our next area of battle. Price will not see its next level of significant sell pressure until its monthly upper zone, giving us a high probability move to that next area. Okay, pound USD will be marked as red on the traffic light system until we see that push to the upside. Then it will switch to yellow. Once we see exhaustion with price action and entry confirmation, it will switch to green. Okay. Next one here, and our last one is on Kiwi USD. Okay, I didn't post this analysis yesterday because price is not yet near. I just want to bring it up since we spoke about it yesterday. Okay, monthly time frame as usual, that's what we do. All right, so what's the analysis? Kiwi here is at a negative 0.3 and the US dollar is at a negative 3.1. We know our fundamental directions to the upside, okay? So, what is this area? Let me remove this, okay? Here's our monthly zones that we need to pay attention to. Yes, there's more zones. There's our monthly upper, monthly mid, monthly lower, but let's pay attention to what's going on right now in between our monthly mid and monthly lower zone. All right? In between here, we see some movement, up, down, up, down. We know that our monthly zone is going to be monthly lower zone will protect to the downside. And now we're seeing a strong move, right? And what's up with this strong move? Take a moment. Well, there was no impulse move to the downside from our weekly lower zone. Tremendous amount of buy sensitivity, breaking sell pressure from our weekly lower zone to the upside, right? So when we take it to the weekly time frame, what do we see? Here's that push. Here's exhaustion. What are we waiting for? Continuational push. Fundamentals are to the upside. But what's price's next battleground? Buy pressure needs to prove to us, right? It needs to earn our respect so that we place an entry to the upside. So how will buyers earn our respect? That's right. It has to beat sell pressure at our daily mid-range zone. That's a push. Requires a lot of energy. What's after that? Exhaustion, recovery, for then a reinjection of buy pressure to then make its way to its next battle at its weekly upper zone. And then what happens? If buy pressure is able to prove to us that it's able to beat its weekly upper zone, boom, to its monthly upper zone. Okay, awesome. So that's going to be it for the charts. Now, just some of you may leave now. I just want to say before you do, please make sure to press that like button. Please tell a friend, tell them to press the like button. Please comment. It helps with the algorithm. If I added any value to you, please make sure to do that. And also, I want to finish it off with something here. Okay, so for some of you, I spoke yesterday about it. I played semi-professional hockey. Growing up, okay, I'm pretty proud of the level I got to. Not many people got to that level. I didn't make it to the highest level, but I'm still proud of the work that I put in and got there. Now, as mentioned, I played with a lot of guys that did make it to the high level, okay, and I know a lot of them personally from sponsoring them, from playing with them on the same team or against them or on Team Canada together or whatever it is, okay. And there's one guy who I just want to mention. And his name is Brendan Gallagher. Some of you who are fans of hockey may or may not know him. Okay, and I just want to congratulate Brendan, and I'll tell you why here. Okay, this is Brendan. Okay, he plays for the Montreal Canadiens, and Brendan is one of the guys where he is like 5'8". Okay. Small for a hockey player, very small for a professional athlete in general, especially for a hockey player. Okay, Brendan is the kind of guy that always inspired people around him, not by what he said, but what he did. Okay, whenever we played on the same team together for a couple of years, and we went to the same school together, which was a hockey academy, meaning like they took players from good players, they put us in the same school essentially, so we didn't have to do school and focus on our game and all that stuff. So we were there together for 4 years, and we played on the same team together for 2 years. And what I'm trying to say with this is, at no point did that guy take 1 day off. Okay? Brendan knew that at his size, at his weight, he had to work harder than everybody else to get to the position he is in. Okay? That kid, for years, did not take 1 single day off. And every time he played with grit. Like anybody who knows him knows that he's the type of player that will get in your face, that will play like he's twice his height, that will be strong, that will be tough, that never takes no for an answer, that will fight the biggest guys on the teams. This guy is a savage. He's a savage in his mind. And it's a good learning lesson. Okay? That kid never for a second thought that he wasn't going to make it to where he was. And the reason why I want to congratulate him is because first off, he's had an amazing career so far. He's been in the NHL, I think, for 5 years. I also want to congratulate him because he just signed a 6-year, $64 million deal. Okay? So I believe that's what it was. I think it was $64 million, or was it 36? No, sorry. 6-year, $39 million deal. Much different. Okay, still $40 million over 6 years for a kid that wasn't even supposed to get even a look. And why are they paying him? That's on the higher echelons. Not the highest contracts, but that's on the higher end, about $6.5 million a year, right? So why are they paying him? Because he is a leader. Okay, the guy hustles. He makes everybody else around him. So what I'm trying to say is this: 2 things. Congratulations, Brendan. Okay. Secondly, something that we should all learn. Okay, we should all learn. Be a savage. Be act double your size, act double your height. And I don't mean that in a cocky way. I just mean in the way you maneuver around the world, in the way you look at things, in the way that when you make a decision, you go ahead and you do it, and you are savage about it. Nothing will stop you. You don't care if it's double your height. Okay? You will find, whenever you start to search for motivation, you will find that the one common trait with the people who end up getting what they want, or accomplishing what they desire, or getting to places that they never thought they would get to, it's that they have a dog mentality. Nothing stops them, because for sure you will come into a hurdle. Okay? Doesn't matter what you do in life, you will get to a point where there is something blocking you. And you're either going to have it within you to get it over that and get through it, or you're not. So start building that savage mentality within you. And what are little things that you can do to build that savage mentality? Well, competition. If you're playing checkers or chess with your father or your cousin, you better have that mentality when you sit down that you want to fucking win. That there's no other option as I'm sitting down here to play chess or checkers or backgammon or Call of Duty, that I want to win. Having that mindset that no matter what, that you're going to do whatever it takes to win, starts to generate those pathways, and those neurons start to fire up in your brain, and you start to really believe it. And then you start to do it. Okay? So when you get to a point where you believe that you have hit a hurdle, just remember this. Everybody gets to that point. You're either going to be the person that gets through it, finds a way, or you're going to be the person that doesn't. But you're not going to be in the middle, that's for sure. Okay? So keep rocking, keep learning, keep growing, keep hustling. And I'm very, very, for those, I have members that have been with me for 5 years since the beginning. I just want to say I'm so proud of you guys. Okay? Some of you are full-time traders now, joining me here for live sessions because you were able to, leave your job and be a full-time trader. And I mean, that gives me nothing. That is the joy that comes from doing this. Okay? Keep rocking, keep learning. I believe in all of you, and I will see you tomorrow for FXG Live. And see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Make sure to like, comment, and make sure to tell a friend. It would mean the world to me. Bye.